Welcome back to the Manc Entrepreneur YouTube channel, and in today's episode I'm asking the question, could you be an intrapreneur? No, I didn't just say that word wrong. Intrapreneur is a thing, and in its simplest definition, the best one I could find was an intrapreneur is someone who acts like an entrepreneur whilst working in a large organisation. And to follow on from that, Intrapreneurship is known as the practice of a corporate management style that integrates risk-taking and innovation approaches, as well as the reward and motivational techniques that are more traditionally thought of as being the province of entrepreneurship. And when I think about it, it makes perfect sense. For the right person, being an intrapreneur is exactly what they would want. The reality is that in the next few years, we're talking maybe 10-15 years, we're going to see a demand for much more intrapreneurs around the world. We're moving away from the current system of jobs. The internet has brought this about, and it isn't going to change. You're going to see more and more people realizing that they can start their own businesses and that they can create things through software and programming. And all of a sudden we've empowered people. That means, like me, from the comfort of my own little home office, that I can run a business anywhere in the world. I can hire a team member thousands and thousands of miles away, all from right here. I don't need to drive to an office. I don't need to be told what to do by someone else. And the people who are like me, who have this sort of risk-taking mindset, as well as wanting to innovate, wanting to have some freedom in order to do what they think is best, that's where a lot of the big businesses are going to realize a huge potential. Now, to do a side-by-side comparison of entrepreneur versus intrapreneur, the main differences are the resources. So if you're an entrepreneur, you have to go and find your own resources. You either have to have your own capital behind you, you need to have to go and find investment from somewhere, or Kickstarter, or whatever it may be. You have to find your own resources. An intrapreneur already should have a large pot of resource available to them from the company that they're working for. If that company is utilizing intrapreneurs fully, they'll make sure that they have everything that they need in order to do what they need to do. The same thing is with sort of enterprise. An entrepreneur really needs to focus a lot of effort doing the marketing, getting his name out there, establishing a brand, and doing all of this legwork, which can take a long time, years, in order to reach a good number of people. Intrapreneurs, if again it's going to be a large company, already have an existing brand on which they can build upon, on which they can rely on in order to push their innovation. And perhaps most notably is the risk. As an entrepreneur, you take on all the risk. With the intrapreneur, the company takes on the risk. You are an employee and your risk is very limited in that role. Now, the flip of that is also the reward. As the entrepreneur, the reward for you personally is huge. As the owner of a company, as the share price goes up, as the company value goes up, you win. As the intrapreneur, you can greatly affect the company's value by doing these innovative products or services, and you might get a bonus or a pay rise, but that won't be in correlation to the value that you've brought to the business. Ultimately, the CEOs, the directors, the shareholders will win. Now, this isn't a dig at entrepreneurs or intrapreneurs. I think there's a fantastic niche out there for both. For the entrepreneurs, which are a bit like myself and Matt, who aren't that scared of taking a risk, entrepreneurship is always going to win. However, if you are a little bit more cautious, a little bit more risk averse, but you still want to think like an entrepreneur, you still want to create, but it's that risk piece which is putting you off, being an intrapreneur is the perfect compromise. In the right company, they will treat you as an individual and they will let you do what you think is best. Yes, you won't get the reward, but you should be paid relatively well, and you'll have the freedom and that happiness that you are making a difference and you get to work on what excites and motivates you. put it this way, right now, if I grow a business into a large business, I would very much want my fair share of intrapreneurs working on that business, because that's what's going to, all of a sudden the innovation doesn't stop with myself, it then expands to a greater team. And I mean, Google are a fantastic example of this. I'm not sure if they still do, but I think every Friday afternoon they used to have this policy where they'd set aside a chunk of time, maybe 2 or 3 hours, where employees got to go and work on what excited them. And I think that's how Gmail first came about, and Google Drive. And like I said, these weren't ideas from Sergey, these were ideas from people in the team who just wanted to go and explore and see what they could create. And that is very much where I see the future of jobs going. Now, right now, intrapreneurship may be a bit of an Americanism. I typed in, out of interest, intrapreneur jobs into Google, and I found 36 jobs with the term intrapreneur in them, and all of them, every single one of them, is over $70,000 salary. 9 of them are over $100,000, which at the current exchange rate is, what, £90,000? So there is some good jobs out there. Granted, a lot of them right now are based in the USA, but there's a lot of startups, there's a lot of new thinking companies out there who are wanting to bring on board entrepreneurs. In fact, Walmart is one of them. Digital category owner development program. So that's going to be something, we're transforming e-commerce. That's going to be Jet.com. I can tell that right away. Jet.com was bought by Walmart, and that is exactly what they're doing there. Samsung America, Glyphy. So there are some there's quite a few in San Francisco. Amazon corporate. So all these big tech companies and these new startup companies are trying to utilize intrapreneurs, and there is a huge potential there, and it's only going to get bigger, I promise you that. So with that said, if you have been watching these videos for a while and you think you are an entrepreneur, but it's just that little bit of risk that you're not willing to take, that's fine. I totally get it. Most people won't take the risk. But there's still an avenue for you to explore with intrapreneurship. And I think it's a fantastic thing, and I encourage more of it, and I can totally see why big businesses are now going to start looking for more and more entrepreneurs to come on board as intrapreneurs. Let me know what you think. Does intrapreneurship sound like something you're interested in? Is it worth taking away some of that risk, but also taking away the potential reward later down the line? Let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you are new. And with that said, I'll catch you in tomorrow's video. Thank you for watching.